Hey everybody, today I wanted to make an interesting kind of video, one that I've kind of wanted to make for a while, about something I bought a little while ago. Basically I want to talk about how an amazing deal and like how amazing this like bundle or package or whatever you want to call it from um, basically Phil Elverum's label and website, Phil Elverum Sons. He put out a 6 album bundle on his website for the first 6 microphones album. Although really it's like the first 4 studio albums and like 2 special compilation records, which according to the website says this is the first time that these 2 compilations have been put on wax. So that's pretty exciting. And yeah, I just kind of want to discuss how like really amazing and beautiful and awesome these packagings are, and how you should support Phil always. And that this bundle is worth it, and these records are worth it. These are amazing, and I guess I just wanted to kind of show it off and prove it to you and make my case for it. But yeah, like I said, you can get these right off his website, Phil Elverum Sons, which is also his label, which is a fantastic label because it has not only his stuff on it, but it has people like Little Wings, his late wife's work, Genevieve Opeon. I'm really sorry if I mispronounced that. I'm not good at pronunciations, and I believe she is from Quebec, so a little bit hard to pronounce there. But really fantastic stuff. So this bundle is about $110. Like I said, you get 6 LPs, and I think most of them are double LPs because like albums like The Glow Part 2 are pretty long, and they just come in really, really lovely, beautiful packaging, great records. And again, I just kind of wanted to show it off, and maybe if you don't know about this, or maybe you're interested even in this genre or Phil himself, and I think I want to prove to you that this is worth buying. So yeah, I guess quick thing. If you don't know who Phil Elverum is, or the microphones, or Mount Eerie, Phil Elverum is like a recording artist, lo-fi folk artist, indie artist from Washington. I believe he's from Anacortes. Is that what I assume to be the pronunciation? But he's like really big in the Olympia, Washington scene. In fact, he was close to the original K Records label, which I don't know if they're still active. A lot of this stuff is just my information. This video is like my memory, so excuse me if I'm wrong as usual, rambling like I know what I'm talking about. But yeah, K Records is a big label in Olympia, Washington. I think that's when all the originals of these records were put out on, like The Glow Part 2, It Was Hot, We Stayed in the Water. All these were put out originally on K Records. Speaking of records, really quick, as I usually do, I forget to mention what we're listening to. We actually not listening to Phil's stuff, but I'm listening to another very talented artist I thought would go good with this video. I showed this in another one. This is Walter Mitty in his makeshift orchestra, and this is the wonderful little red 10-inch I got for his album, Overwhelmed and Underdressed. Really fantastic stuff. A bit more on the folk punkish side, but I really love it. It's just fun, it's great, and I thought it would do well. So Phil Elverum had his original moniker called The Microphones, which he recorded all these albums under. And I think he recorded on the Microphones from about 1996 to 2004, which a lot of his really famous or popular albums came out. And now he goes by the moniker Mount Eerie, which is based off the final album he did as the Microphones called Mount Eerie, and is also just one of my favorite albums of all time. Absolutely amazing. It's all, I want to say lo-fi folk. Folk is his main genre, but really his whole thing is just really messing around with recording techniques. He's all about crazy tape loops and sounds and funky ways to record. Even in interviews, he just talks about that's his hobby, is recording. He's all about that. You can definitely hear it. This is more than just beyond folk. He does all kinds of crazy stuff, and he definitely even has a lot of black metal influence. If you listen to some albums like Wind's Poem, which just has black metal tracks straight up, instrumental, not vocals or anything. There's even just some crazy heavy songs, on The Glow Part 2, there's a song called Samurai Sword, which is just really heavy with the pounding drums and guitar. I don't know. It's just great stuff. And he has a fantastic voice. I mean, his whole like thing, he definitely sounds a little bit like unpolished in his voice, but it just sounds so like natural and amazing. I don't know. I really love it. But we're not here to hear me ramble on about Phil. We're here to see the beautiful stuff. So let's show it off. And I got this a while ago, but I've been holding on to this packaging because I wanted to show it in the video, just because I wanted to show how like really beautiful this was. So this is the box it came in. See if I can get that in the shot. Very cool. And I'm not sure where this tape comes from. Maybe his late wife had made it, Genevieve, because it has the Opayan sticker. Because he does have a shop just for her stuff on the website, because she was also a very talented musician and illustrator and writer on her own. And he sells a lot of her books and albums also on Phil Elverum Sun, so I suggest checking that out. And yeah, but look how great this packaging is. Like, this is Phil already. There's like a shiny sticker. Let's see if we can focus in on it. I think it says Phil Elverum and Sons. And he must have like a handmade stamp that says Media Mail on it, and like his little quirky font. And when I do talk about Phil, I do mean quirky in like the actual like sense of the word, not just like, I feel like people really abuse the quirky word, but he is a very quirky musician. I love watching interviews with him. He amuses me so much. He's just the embodiment of quirky, amazing, talented musician. But yeah, I just wanted to, like I said, show that off, because as soon as I got this, I knew it made with love. It's kind of a small packaging for 6 records, but this was packaged, so some of the inner packaging, really nicely. Everything was safe. Nothing was wrong. Not a nick, not a bend, not a tear, whatever. Not that I really care about that stuff, but it was great. So I guess we'll start chronologically showing off these records. So the first one is Don't Wake Me Up. Let's see, when did this come out? Don't Wake Me Up. Let's see, 1999. This came out in 1999. Here's the back. I'm actually going to take this out. So some of these have a really cool, like, Phil Elverum style, like, obi strip. Like, look how cool that is. Little foiling stamp. And it almost looks like how it would if you took, like, just, like, number 2 pencil and, like, scribbled on this. Like, it's really great. And it has the track listing on it. Not every one of these has these, unfortunately. Even though I'm not really, like, someone that's obsessed over obi strips or care about that. But I don't know. I really like the aesthetic that it comes with this. And it just shows, like, the care and the character that comes with his packaging. Yeah, I'm going to throw everything to the side and make you guys watch me pick it up. So there's a cover about the plastic. Again, the back. Let's see, this is a great album. Like I said, this was his first, like, major album, so it's definitely a bit somber, soft, very lo-fi. This is a very lo-fi album, but it's really great stuff. Very, just, I don't know, pretty, I guess is the word I want to use. This is actually only one LP. See if I can show the label, because the label has that same kind of, like, penciling style. Very, very pretty. These records are great, too. Sturdy, heavy. They sound really, really good, too. You know, I'm definitely not an audiophile or someone that cares about all that diminishing return bullcrap. Else I'd lose some subscribers saying that, but you definitely notice it with these. And here, all these are gatefolds too. So, let's see, if you like thick spines, because all these have very thick spines, and you like gatefolds, you need to pick this up. Look at that. This kind of brings the aesthetic of this album. You know, you imagine you're laying on this kind of cold, abandoned, rusty, old hospital bed just in some cabin, if that makes sense. Just listening to this, feeling very melancholic. That's probably my favorite word to describe his music is melancholic. I definitely have a thing for specifically melancholic music, so his stuff, it's right on the mark. Yes, so that is the first one, Don't Wake Me Up, and that one originally also came out on K Records, and now it's on Phil Elverum Sons. I'm going to flip over this little 10-inch. Okay, so let's talk about the next one. Another great record. And this one is It Was Hot, We Stayed in the Water. And I'm probably just gonna take the plastic wrap off immediately because shiny. There we go. There's that wonderful cover. Let's see. When did this one come out? 2000, I believe. 2000. Let's see. Let's take out the records. Here's the back, a lot like the front. See another really great thick spine. You can like see thick. Let's see that gatefold. Kind of makes you think of like birch wood piers. Like it's definitely, I don't know, even this image does remind me of like, you know, obviously the sunset and the ocean, even though it's a little abstract. The piers. So, yeah, another great album. Not as like cold or I guess lo-fi-ish is the Wake Me Up, but a bit more brighter, I guess, what goes with the cover, but lots of really, really great tracks. I mean, you got the original The Glow. Like, Glow Part 1 is on here, which is a great song. The songs are a bit longer on here, too, which is really good. Oh, there's actually a track listing on here. I didn't even notice that. Lots of great stuff. You can see some of it right here. It's really good. This one is also one LP. And scribbled water on the label. All shiny. It just makes you think of like that really silvery, leady like pencil when you write on stuff, and I love it. I definitely suggest all these albums too. It's kind of hard to tell you where to start because some people have different opinions. I guess start from the beginning. Some people might say the next album, but we'll see. And then this was also in there. He's like this. So he always does, in any record, even now, you buy from him out Eerie, whenever he does like fold outs or special stuff in his records, they're always like folded top to bottom like this. Let's see if I can. This, yeah, It Was Hot, We Stay in the Water, Buy the Microphones, and then it talks about the album. And I just think this is such a nice touch. Very cool. Yeah. So that was included in our record. All these nice little touches. Alright, so coming up, I mean, everybody knows this one. This is probably his most popular album. I mean, this is probably just an iconic record in itself, just for like any indie head or people into modern folk or any of that stuff. Yeah. So this came out 2001, I believe. I know, I'm terrible. Yeah, 2001. Here it is. The Glow Part 2 with that iconic elephant record. Although I think originally the album art's supposed to be like sideways. And I believe he took this image from some French kids book. Maybe it wasn't a kids book. It was some French book. I don't know a lot of Phil lore. But yeah, let's check this beauty out. It is side, because I forgot, it does open sideways like it's supposed to be. Alright, let's take these out so we can show off the really thick binding again. So I know some people love that. And a fantastic gatefold, big thick gatefold. Look at that. I mean, this gatefold just really sums up not only this album but just his work in general. Like, just kind of stare at that and pretty much understand where he's coming from. He probably did this photo, I'm not sure though, but he has photography books. I think one's called Dust, and he just takes a lot of really fantastic nature photography. I'm also really a big fan of his photography, and I don't know, I kind of think a lot of nature photography can be like way overdone, or, you know, just like, yeah, it's just pretty, but you know, that's about it. But he just adds something to it, like the fact that it looks almost like super digital, or like it's really great but kind of bad at the same time. I don't know, really good stuff. There's the back, the track listing. I love this shot, this like blurry night city with the lights. I don't know, I love this. I like to listen to ambient and drone. That's this. It sounds like this aesthetic, like Alessandro Cardini. Yeah, I guess you could start here. If you don't know Phil, you really could start here. There's just so many great tracks. I love, like, one of my favorite tracks of all time, just in general, is "You'll Be in the Air," which is on here. The opening track is amazing. Moon is amazing. The Gleam. There's that song, Samurai Sword, which is really great. There's not really a bad song on here. The title track, The Glow Part 2, has this iconic kind of like wail where he talks about how his blood flows harshly, his heart beats loudly. But it's also a song about a failed suicide, and it's probably one of the most like beautiful, non-edgy songs about attempting a suicide. I don't know, it's great. Yeah, and this is also a double LP because there's a lot of tracks in the Glow Part 2. So, more scribbled labels. The other one's the same. Okay, let's check that out. I'm trying to think, did this one have... I may be missing inserts. Yes, this one had quite a few inserts. I'll have to check the other one. I'm slow tonight. So this one again has more beautiful, like, look at that. That just screams like drone ambient-esque stuff to me. Again, super big, long fold out that just goes into depth about, you know, the album, and then it has the lyrics. And the lyrics, again, it's just so like melancholy and beautiful. But even my favorite song, "You'll Be in the Air," I think supposedly is about him performing cunnilingus, but it's really, really gorgeous and beautiful. I don't know. He's just, you know, that kind of artist. And then of course, we get our nice zine-looking cover, and then it's just, let's see if I can get that in the shot. I know I'm terrible at, like, shoving stuff up in the front and you can't like see it, but yeah, that's that. I think there's a few more inserts. Again, this is a long video, but I don't care. I like to show off stuff. Okay, so these are some, you know, download cards. Gave me 2 of them. I know, I'm like having a hard time grabbing all the stuff in here. Then just some more little pamphlet photography. Just really great shots. I love stuff like that. That just looks like a cassette tape cover, doesn't it? Kind of looks like a big blood cover right there. So yeah, that's this one and that insert. So let's see. Maybe I missed an insert for "Don't Wake Me Up," because I thought I put them. Yeah, I did. So yeah, all of these have just like, look at how great all this packaging is. Like, I love photo collages. Again, this basically sums up this album really well. The "Don't Wake Me Up." There it is. "Don't Wake Me Up." Really, really cool. Look at that. It's hair, but it looks really kind of Cthulhian-esque. Oh, I love it. Of course, you gotta show off all the wonderful little photos. Just so cool. So much care and artistic value, merit, I don't even know, like skill, craft is put into these. Definitely some of my favorite packaging. Oh, I think our record's done. Should probably put on something else. Just kidding, I'm replaying the record. Who cares? Alright, the next one. And not only is this probably my favorite album he's ever made, even though I love them all. A lot of stuff he's done on Mount Eerie, like No Flashlights, fantastic. But it's just one of my favorite non-electronic or industrial albums ever. Alright, this came out in 2004. And if I can grab it. This is the microphones, Mount Eerie. before, you know, he took the moniker Mount Eerie. Oh man, what an album. Everyone thinks The Glow Part 2 is his best work. No, it's this one. This is just so good. Like, look at that album art cover. I love it. Just looking at this skull. It's just so good. This is the back cover. This almost like ominous artwork. I don't know who did the artwork for this. My stick's fine, but it's great. This is just one disc because this is like a 42-minute album, I believe. Oh man, and the gatefold the gatefold does this justice. Again, reflects the sound of the music. It's so cool. So yeah, there's only 5 tracks. It opens up with a 17-minute track called The Sun, then Solar System, then Universe, Mount Eerie, and Universe. My favorite track is probably the title track, Mount Eerie. Oh, it's just so good. It's not a concept album or story album, but I like to imagine with the way it just sounds, the lyrics, that it's kind of how I imagine a lot of his music is just going up into the mountain and dying of exposure purposely so you can return and become one with the universe. It's like what this album is about to me. Going up to the mountains that purposely die of exposure, and now your spirit and soul is one again with the universe. It's just, it's so good. Definitely just listen to the title track, Mount Eerie. A lot of people seem put off by the first track, which is called The Sun, because it starts off, so a lot of his albums have this recurring concept of like a foghorn. He's very influenced where he comes from, Washington and all like the foghorn sounds and mountain imagery. I love it. It just builds up, and there's like some kind of taiko drumming, I believe. It just kind of slowly builds up, just like drumming, and it gets louder and louder, and all of a sudden you have like ship horns coming in and foghorns really loud, and then it just has him coming out singing, and then the whole album blends, it connects together really perfectly, like a never-ending track. Don't be put up by the first track. I think even if you don't like long tracks, I think you'll love it because you'll just realize it is the album, it's the atmosphere, it's the beauty. I don't know, it's amazing. And it's only 42 minutes. You owe it to yourself to check this one out. If there's any album, check out. If you don't know the Microphones, Mount Eerie, check out this album. Just check out Microphones, Mount Eerie. So, it's just so melancholic and emotional. Look at me gushing the way I do. Alright, so those are the 4 like major studio albums, and the other 2 you get in the set is compilation albums. And then first one is Microphones early tapes. I believe this was from 1996 to 1998, and I believe this is stuff that he recorded even before like the Microphones was like an official thing or a project he was working on. So there's a lot of like early versions of tracks and just a lot of crazy stuff. There's the early tapes. There's our nice overscan. I love overscan pictures. I love this aesthetic. We got Phil here. Early tapes. We got a nice little shiny seal. Phil Elverum Sun's archives right there. I like how a lot of his albums and title art just kind of like cuts off. Yeah, so here are some of the tracks. We got inserts. We got our classic Phil. So, yep, early tapes. And I don't know what label these are on. Maybe St. Ives. Which, fun fact, St. Ives has a lot of like early Phil stuff and a few other people from Olympia, but randomly it has the very first record version of Animal Collective's Hollandagon, which is fantastic. And a record I wish I could own, but that's a lot of money to drop on that, which I might because I'm insane. So yeah, wonderful lyrics, notes, the whole, how it be. I live for young pictures of Phil. It's amazing. Look at this guy. Like, this is so cool. I love, like, how many early pictures of Phil with no shirt on there are. He just does that. Yeah, like I said, these all sound really great. Check them all out. This is probably his most famous or like well-known comp. This is Song Islands. Um, and he describes this as these are song islands. Like these songs are islands, so they're all like some of them are songs that were on other albums, but kind of like again different versions of them and recordings. Let's see, and I think this like songs from like 97 to 2000 are on here. And this is definitely one of the ones he said it was the first time that they put out on wax. This one's really heavy. Again, this one came with little Phil Obi strip. I could have sworn there was one for the Glow Part 2. Maybe I saw someone else with that. I don't know. But I like that sound. Very cool. Really, really suits this whole thing. And there's a nice little cover. I'm assuming Phil drew himself because he's like, he has, I forgot what it's called. I'm crazy, but he has like an online comic. I don't think he's updated in a while. It's very like kind of David Lynchian-esque, which he's definitely a big lover of Lynch, you can tell, where he just like draws weird like permanent marker comics, and they're like really funny and weird. I always think of the one where there's just like a guy asking another guy like what his favorite kind of battery is, and the guy's just like classic AA. It's just really stupid, and I love it. And nice gatefolds. Like I said, really sturdy, heavy stuff. Little packaging. His usual labeling. This is a double LP. It has lots of tracks. This album also, I know he has really popular single, like people know, the song I Can't Believe You Actually Died. It's on here. I'm a Pearl Diver is on here. There's another one people know. Let's see. You're Standing on the Ground. And the Glow Part 4 conclusion. He finally ended it. And so after all that, he now goes by Mount Eerie. Lots of great tracks. I think anyone could find a track they really like. He also has a random, like, dark ambient album. Like, it doesn't sound like anything he does. He just does all kinds of crazy stuff. He also has a diary he wrote when he just lived isolated in a cabin for, I think, like 2 years or something. And I'd love to get a copy. Phil, if you do unfortunately find this, first of all, I'm sorry. But second of all, please try to put out your book again. I want to not pay like $800 for it. I'll pay you, but I want to read it because writing is amazing. I don't know. I'm not like a super huge lyric person, but his lyrics just really do it for me. I don't know what it is. There's no other artist who can just capture, I don't know, melancholy the way he does in his lyrics. I feel like Animal Collective comes close. Yeah, now I sound like I'm some kind of indie head. I'm not. I really don't like any of that. When it comes to non-electronic industrial indie stuff, I kind of just like Animal Collective and the microphones for that popular stuff. But yeah, so $110. Yeah, it was worth it. I actually emailed him the night I bought it, and I was like, Phil, could you sign these? I'm a huge fan because he's very like in touch with his fans, very acquaintable. And he said that sadly he was on tour, so he couldn't, and I was sad. But he responded to me right away, which was really amazing, and it still made me feel special. But yeah, enough rambling. Support him, support his music, support all non-people or support indie people. God, I can't talk. Yeah, definitely worth it. So amazing, good stuff. Listen to music. But yeah, thank you for watching, and yeah, good night.